Welcome guys to another episode of the Mentor Monday vlogcast. This is episode 2 of the Mentor Monday vlogcast. For those of you that don't know, I am James and I host a podcast and vlogcast on IGTV, YouTube, Facebook every Tuesday and every Thursday, and then we come to you on YouTube only for a Mentor Monday series. None of this motivational Monday garbage, none of this motivation that involves no action being taken. This is a Mentor Monday where we focus on things that you can do to actually take action and create a secondary source of income, third, a fourth, a fifth, by learning from others around you, learning from those that have already been on the path you are going down, so that you don't have to make the mistakes yourself. You can make the mistakes that other people have not made yet, and people can learn from your mistakes. So today we are coming to you with a video from Denzel Washington, and it's called Don't Be Afraid to Fail Big, to Dream Big by Denzel Washington. And it's a speech that he makes, and it is a very popular video, a very popular speech, and it's 2.3 million views just on one social channel. And again, I've shared this with the audience that I have on Facebook, Instagram, and received some great feedback from that. Seems to be that you guys like that, so I thought we'd talk about this more. And on the back of this, I've got a article that I want to run past you, where you can not only listen to what Denzel's had to say, can learn from Denzel, but also what other people have done practically to back up what Denzel's saying. It's not just a case of listen to this and take no action. We're going to see what the people have done and we can learn from them also. So I'm going to play the video now for you guys. So this is Don't Be Afraid to Fail Big by Denzel Washington. Hope you enjoy.
I was flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. They still call it beauty shops now? What they call it now? Yeah, I'll sit in the beauty parlor. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. And I didn't know who she was, and I said, she said, somebody give me a pen, give me a pencil, I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975, she said, boy, you are gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the army. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and she's telling me I'm gonna travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world, and I have spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected, I've been directed, I've been corrected. Fail big. That's right. Fail big. You only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances professionally. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. So don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. Life goals, yearly goals, monthly goals, daily goals. I try to give myself a goal every day. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. And in this text, tweet, twerk world that you've grown up in, remember, just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
So what do you think? Powerful, isn't it? So a few key takeaways from that for me. Dream big, biggest message in that, as it's don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. Because you do only have one life. You do only have one life, and you have to have a dream. You have to have a vision of what you want your life to be. And as he mentions, set daily goals, set weekly goals, yearly goals, 10 years ahead goals. Where do you want to be? And reverse engineer where you want to be and how you need to get there, because you're not the first person, as I've said before, to have these goals. You're not the first person to have dreamt big, and you have to dream big. What is the point in dreaming small? Seriously, what is the point in dreaming small? Because you only have one life. But don't think you're going to get there by not having goals, as Denzel says. You can't just, which is habits that I used to have on a weekend after a long week, consume alcohol, smoke cigarettes, party till 3, 4 in the morning, sometimes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and expect to have anything that you actually want. Stop wasting time. Whatever you want in life productively, set goals to achieve and work towards those goals every day. Be consistent. That's why it's important to have daily goals. If I don't go a day without doing something productive, I rip my hair out. And I've said this before, I'm a nightmare for my partner because it just eats away at me. And clearly, it's a positive habit to have. It's a better habit than smoking. It's a better habit than drinking. It's a better habit than just doing it. I'm not saying don't do fun things. I'm saying do fun things in moderation and do something productive every day and have that dream to dream big. So that's important. Now, I think deep down, if the person that was in the beauty parlour, or the beauty parlour says to Denzel about having a prophecy, I'm not sure of what the truth is in people that have these visions, but it probably did stick with, well, it has stuck with him because he's remembered it all those years later. Now, if you've got that thing in the back of your head that there's a bigger purpose for you, no matter what you think, that's going to be in the back of your mind. And that's not a bad thing to have. That's actually a very, very positive thing to have. And clearly, he has achieved the things that he probably felt was his destiny. So what is your destiny? You don't always have to have somebody to tell you what your destiny is. You can create the destiny yourself. And I would recommend creating that destiny, because at the end of the day, if your goals aren't big, then if you fail at your small goals, you're still going to be small. If your goal is to just I don't know, something minor that isn't going to have a massive impact, why not just go big, dream big? Because if you fail, you're going to fail at something small. If you fail, you're going to fail at something big. It doesn't really matter. And the reason why I say it doesn't matter is because there's something else that I want to share with you on this Mentor Monday vlogcast. Because are you willing to fail big enough? Now, some of the most successful people in the world have failed bigger than you think. This isn't public knowledge. They don't share this out every day and use this as something that's a massive reason for their success. But in order to win big, sometimes you need to be able to fail big. And to prove this point, I found an article that I'll share with you now on the screen. Let me just share this with you. Okay, so this article is 16 famous people who have bounced back after being broke or bankrupt. Now, this is not something people speak about. This is something the 1% know, and the 1% aren't afraid to do, is go bankrupt. Or, I'm not saying go bankrupt. I'm not saying risk everything that you're gonna, it's wise to go bankrupt. But people have gone bankrupt, and they're some of the most successful people on this planet. So, sorry about that, guys. My battery just died on my camera. As I was saying, so this article is from standard.co.uk, and it says the rich and famous can afford the best things in life. However, some of them barely have any money to their name before they achieved success. Now, some of these people you probably won't realise were even close to bankruptcy. Let's go through a few. So, Donald Trump, his companies have gone bankrupt 6 times, and there was an interesting quote. So it says, President Trump has never personally filed bankruptcy, but his companies have gone bankrupt 6 times. And that, I've cut debt, by the way, this isn't me personally, it's a company. Trump says, according to Forbes, basically, I've used the law of the country to my advantage, just as many others have on top of the business world have. Now, a lot of people don't know that. 6 times. So Trump has failed big 6 times. Will Smith owed 2.8 million, 2.1 million pounds to the IRS. Many people don't know that either. Lady Gaga was technically bankrupt during her 2009 tour. She had $3 million to her name and threw it all into making the stage. I remember I went home and I was with my dad, and he said, I don't understand. Bad romances, you're all over the radio. Everyone is talking about you and you don't have a pot to piss in. Again. Mike Tyson, 23 million in debt after filing for bankruptcy. 23 million in debt. How much money has he made before that? It's unbelievable. We failed big. 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy in 2015, despite once being worth an estimated 155 million. Unreal. Well, it is real. I say it's unreal. It's unreal to the average person. Walt Disney left bankrupt from his first film company. Look how big Walt Disney is now. He fell big, but he bounced back big because he was willing to dream big and attack his goals head on, and not take bankruptcy or failure as failure, but as just a learning lesson. Because sometimes you have to learn yourself. This is the problem. You can learn from other people as much as possible, but at some point you're going to learn yourself, and you learn the hardest by learning yourself, because you never forget that. You build those scars, those war wounds that ingrain in the back of your mind, and the next time you make a decision you remember those scars. So Walt Disney. Meatloaf had an estimated net worth of 45 million. and again filed for bankruptcy. Cyndi Lauper, Abraham Lincoln, Larry King. It's unreal. Some of these people you would never think. Marvin Gaye, MC Hammer, 10 million in debt. MC Hammer. The list goes on, guys. But what does this show you? That how big are you dreaming? How big are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go to win? These guys were clearly willing to go far to win. They also lost big. But to be honest with you, the only difference between these people and the average people are that they dreamed big and they went. They were willing to go for broke to win. Are you willing to go for broke to win? Because some of these people, and the second most important thing with this, some of these people, when you think of bankruptcy, when you think of losing everything you have, when you think of losing everything, you think they're never going to get it back. But look at all these people. 50 Cent has got a hit TV show Power that's making him millions. Tyson, he's not got a bad life. He's still got a ton of money. He made a lot of mistakes, but he's got more money than most of us. Will Smith, again. And then you've got the President of the United States of America. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? He was willing to go for broke, that much that he won, to a point where he could self-fund himself running for presidency and won. You know, you can't write it. How many lives do you need to live to be able to even have that story? It's unreal, but the point is they dreamt big. They dreamt big, they went big, and they won big. They also lost big to a degree, but it's just the journey. It is just the journey. I'm not saying in any way, shape or form you should take risks that would leave you in millions of debt. I can't recommend you what risks you take, but what I can say is you need to dream big and take action based on whatever your goal is. Maybe your goal isn't that big. Maybe your goal isn't to make that much of an impact. But whatever your goal is, you need to be willing to take an educated risk from time to time, professionally, as Denzel says, educated professional risks in life to get what you want. Because there's another video from Elon Musk who talks about he feels fear quite strongly, but all he does is accept the probabilities. There's a big shift when you think about that. Some of the risks that Elon makes, you think, God, these are massive risks. He must be, you must have something in the back of your mind at all times worrying about what's going on. But once he's weighed up the risks, makes a decision and moves on, accepts the risk. That's a big shift in how you think. And that's what these people have done. They took a big risk. They failed, but they've also took big risks and won. So learn from those around us. And that's it really, guys, for this Mentor Monday. I feel like we've talked a lot this week. It's been a slightly longer video. So what have we learned? Dream big, as Denzel says. Take educated professional risks where required to get what you want, because you've only got one life, and many others around you that you may not have even knew had filed for bankruptcy, being close to bankruptcy, that are still winners now to date. They're still winners now, in which one is actually President of the United States. They've took educated risks and won. So bear that in mind, guys. That's it for this week's episode, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the 1% Club podcast on IGTV, Facebook and YouTube, and then Thursday for the Side Hustle Startup podcast. I'll catch you then, guys. Take it easy.